it just makes sense in the conversation. Like we don't have to stay on script or anything there. Usually Brooke and I don't have like anything, like we just have the topic and then we just start rambling, so, it would not be out of the ordinary to do that kind of concept, so.
Okay.
All right, we'll jump into it.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, welcome back. Confidently Flawed. I am excited today. We got a couple of longtime people that I've known for, man, what, 10 years?
11
11 years? Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's been a long time. So I have with me Beth and Jason Reinhold, who has been a part of Raw for the last 8 years. And then I used to work with them, even before we started Raw Fitness. So I've known them for a very, very long time. We love working with them because they're great people to work with. They come in, bust their butt, work really hard, very coachable. That's the type of people we love having here. And they've had a lot of really good success lately with just getting into this. Not only they're very consistent with their workouts, but like diving into the nutrition piece and healthy habits and things like that. And I thought it would be really cool to bring you guys on for this, not only just to talk about like what's working for you guys, but also to share like you guys as a couple and things like that. Like that's not always the dynamic that works for people, right? So there's a lot of people that we talk to, or clients or people coming in that maybe don't have the support of their other half, right? Or try to navigate how do we make it work with the family dynamic if somebody is not in the same kind of mindset is there. So you guys, whether you guys actually like team up and work together on everything and things like that, I think the fact that you guys are both doing the same type of thing, trying to improve your health, trying to live a healthier and happier life through being healthy and fit and things like that, I thought maybe our listeners can kind of find some golden nuggets on the things that you guys are doing. Right. So without further ado, welcome Beth, Jason. Appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy days and coming to chat with me here.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. So I know you guys have been with Raw for 8+ years now, or 8 years. We're about to have our anniversary actually.
Yep.
Walk me through like what got you started on this journey, whether it was with Raw or even before Raw. Like what made you kind of seek something like a Raw Fitness or something like a coaching program or what have you?
So way back when we had I had gym memberships for a while through college and stuff, and just it was a huge waste of money because it was a gym donation, and I would show up and I would maybe go on the elliptical for half an hour, or I'd like pretend to have any idea of what I was doing. And way back when, I had a friend who convinced me to do a group class at Lifetime and really liked it. Ended up canceling that membership because it's, it just wasn't my thing for a while, and got a different gym membership. Again, tried to do stuff on my own. It just didn't work. It was again a gym donation every month. And Jason didn't really go either.
No, I had the same gym membership, and we went a little bit because it was before our wedding. We were trying to get in shape.
Yeah.
We just did not use it very much, just because we didn't know what we were doing when we got there. It just seemed like a waste of time. So
yeah. And then like the group classes, I was kind of like always intimidated by because I didn't know anybody there, and like it's that like first time that you go and you just don't know anyone. But I think I just went in and tried it one time and was like, all right, it's not so bad. People were pretty friendly, and just kind of kept going and going. And Danny, you were there, and that was just kind of like, all right, this is something that I can do. And at the end of the day, being a teacher, I had 0% left in me to figure out now, okay, I have to plan a lesson almost for myself at the gym. I did not have that in me. And I could spend hours there and just stare at the machines and be like, okay, what's next? All right, what's next? And then,
I feel like we just never really saw results from that. So
yeah.
I know when we started doing the group fitness, then we actually did one of the challenges with Danny in the very early stages, and we saw like really good results from that. So that kind of helped me realize that
I still have your first picture.
Actually, it might be on the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw that the group fitness actually does work.
That's the old house.
Oh yeah, that is an old picture. I am on the back wall over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that door, that brown one. That was where we did
That was
that.
at the Washington.
Yeah, the Washington facility there. Yeah, so and that's a lot of people, right? Is they have gym memberships, they know they need to do it, or they know they want to feel better, they go to the gym and they're like, I don't wanna go over there with all the weights, that seems a little crazy, the classes, I don't know if I can keep up. And then I'm just gonna walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes, you're like, alright, I'm done,
Yeah.
right? And then you get motivated by something, an event like a wedding or what have you, but then it's, as soon as that's over, or even amidst that, like. The consistency struggles, right? So when you have back to your point, you don't have to think about it, right? You just come in and say, all right, I'm just gonna show up, they're gonna tell me what to do, I know it's gonna work, 'cause it's backed by, science and, professionals and things like that, versus like you said, like trying to go online, research, create a new lesson plan for yourself in hopes that it's the right plan for you, right? Or you gotta test it out for 6 months and maybe it isn't. So that definitely makes a lot of sense with kind of getting into that. What problems or what things were you trying to solve when you said let's look into more guidance when it comes to our workouts with like the group sessions and things like that? Was there anything that you were trying to accomplish or goals that you had, or walk me through kind of your thought process with that?
My goals were just like, I wanted to get stronger because I knew I was not strong at the time. I didn't have a lot of muscle. And like, also it was like finding some of that community too. Like I'd go to work and tell people that like, hey, I'm on a challenge, or I'm doing like, kind of a fitness diet program. And they'd be like, oh, you don't need to lose weight, you're skinny. Like, but that's not the point. Like that doesn't help me any. So it was nice to have find people that I could have that community feeling with, and build some muscle, get some exercising, get some movement, because like my health is really important to me. And if I don't have my health, I don't have much. So I feel like I want to stay healthy so that in my retirement and in 10 years or whenever that happens to come, I can do all the stuff and see all the things and go all the places that I want to do.
Kind of just enjoy life, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be limited just because of age. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to do anything.
Well, because you guys like to travel too, right? So like being able to do that kind of stuff and not have to stop because your health doesn't allow you to.
Yeah.
And Jason, I'll ask you kind of the same question, but like Beth, with you, when it comes to, having the structure and having the health, like, how does that like impact like everyday life? When you're healthier, when you're more in shape, when you're consistent with your workouts, like, what do you notice in your day-to-day versus if you weren't consistent with your workouts and all that, like you are now?
I'm gonna let Jason take
So
that.
for me, I notice, obviously my clothes fit better. That's usually the main driver for me, is usually when I get to close to 200 pounds, my clothes don't fit anymore. So I really try harder to get back into the routine. But as of like this year, we started with the red carpet challenge, and we've kind of been good through the whole summer since then. And just my stomach is much more calm. Like I'm not getting gurgly stomachs like I used to get, and I just feel better overall. So the last couple of weeks we just got done with the other challenge, so I've been eating more things that I shouldn't be eating, and yeah, my stomach's starting to get gurgly again, and so you can definitely tell the big switch between when I'm following a plan versus not following a plan.
Even as we've gone through challenges and we've been coming here longer and longer and longer and just continuously getting stronger, it used to be we'd reach out to other people to need help, or whenever you needed help, like in the barn lifting something, and now it's like you just say, hey, can you come out to the barn, and like I'm able to help lift stuff, and we know how to do it right so that we're not going to hurt our back. And at 4th of July, we went up to Drummond, and there was this boulder, this pudding stone that was like massive. It was probably like 300-400 pounds. And Jason's just like flipping it, like rolling it up the hill, no big deal.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to do those things, and
you felt fine the next
I
day.
didn't die the next day. I was fine.
The other guys that were trying it were like, oh my gosh, my back hurts. I shouldn't have done that. But Jason was like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, just like another normal day.
And like the soreness that we were walking in here, I'm like, oh, my legs are sore, but it's such a good feeling too. Like you stand up after sitting down for 20 minutes and you're like, oh, I'm sore, I should be moving. And it just, I don't know, it feels like there's that sense of accomplishment that like, I'm not limited in my strength. Like I can help Jason. He doesn't need to call someone over.
Yeah.
So just, that's been a huge impact on us. And
yeah. Like, how does that feel to be able to do those types of things and not have to worry about it, right? Because that's a big difference, like to be able to say like, okay, I don't have to call a bunch of these people and hope they can show up this
Right.
weekend or that, you can just do it, right?
Right.
Like, that can translate into a lot of other things, like how, like, does that feel on cause a lot of times, like, at least me personally, and maybe not you guys, like, we take that kind of stuff for granted, right? We just like, we don't think about like how impactful it is to be able to do everyday things without much effort because we're healthier, right? And just less stress, you can manage your time better, you can have all these other benefits to it, more energy, more productivity. What type of feeling does that bring for you guys, or how does that make life easier for you guys when you are, more healthy, more fit, more consistent with that?
It's just like, it feels really independent, like I can do the things I need to do without needing to call Jason for help, like I don't need a man's help kind of thing.
Yeah.
We joke a lot about he's the man, but at the same time, I can lift up heavy things, like I can push the 250-pound cart at Costco where I've got like the water, 3 bags of softener salt and a
That's
bag
not
of dog food and
Yeah,
all the protein that we
Yeah.
eat for a month, and that cart is super heavy, but you put your butt into it and then it moves, and it's really empowering
Yeah.
that I'm able to do things myself, even at work, like I can lift the heavy boxes and I can pick up the whatever equipment needs to be moved, and I don't think twice about it.
Yeah, I think we just, like for us, we have land, so it takes a lot of work to maintain the land, so we cutting trees, moving wood, just even cutting the grass, it's just a lot of work, and I guess if I wasn't in this good of shape, it'd feel like work, like I don't mind doing it, cause it's not that big a deal, but feel like that gives us a lot of freedom to take care of the land, not have to hire stuff out.
Yeah.
I
And
just
not
feel
worry
like-
about like throwing out my back or injuring myself because I don't know what I'm doing, but like I know how to squat properly, I know how to lift things up properly, and
You've
Yeah,
done
it
it
helps.
plenty of times now.
yeah, and even so every so often we'll be at home and be like, oh, here's a farmer's carry when I've got, the 2 buckets of whatever, or gas cans moving around, or we do like the suitcase carry, and it's just like those same skills transfer
Yeah.
to the house.
They do.
Have you guys ever seen the videos where it's like that, where I think they're like by gyms. I even sent it to Julie, we were gonna do something like that, where it's like how your gym translates into everyday life. Some of them are like goofy, like it's not actually like a burpee and then it goes like something in real life, but it was like that, right? Like doing farmer's carries and then translating into like carrying groceries or carrying buckets, filled with stuff. Like it's funny how like we don't think about it in terms of that, but it really can. We do functional movements in here, so it's, you have to squat if I get up and off this chair, right? And we have to lunge if I have to step over something, right? Or step up onto a step to go walk up the stairs, but we don't always think about that, so when we keep training our bodies and keep training our minds to be able to do that kind of stuff, it just makes it easier, right?
It does.
So you guys both just did the back to school challenge, it was a little bit of like a carb cycling kind of focus for 4 weeks. I mean, you can touch on that program, but just in general, because Jason, you mentioned it earlier, like having that, like, when you're on a plan, you do much better. Like, what's the impact of having like, maybe a little extra accountability or, a nutrition plan that works, like because by the way, both of these were our top 2 winners for our back to school challenge. They both did really, really well with that. So like how does that help you guys when you have a structured like nutrition plan, a little bit extra coaching or accountability so that you can kind of, get some extra results or make sure your stomach's not gurgling and all that all the time?
And this was the first time I won a challenge. Like I've never
Yeah.
won any challenges before. Jason, it's old news for him, but like for me, that was the first time I've ever actually like won
Yeah,
any part of the challenge.
awesome.
So that was
yeah,
pretty
you guys did
exciting.
really good.
Yeah, I think, so we started with like the red carpet challenge in January. And we did really well in that challenge, I lost a lot, and then, we kind of continued the food tracking, the same diet plan, more or less, throughout the whole summer until we did the back to the school challenge. And I think for me, it takes a lot to change my habits, so doing it for, the last 10 months now, 9-10 months, I'm able to actually eat and not track 100% of the time and actually eat pretty close to the same as the plan, which actually helps a lot. I feel like for me, the diet plans almost do more than the workouts. Like I need both, but if I do all the workouts without the diet plan, I don't really see the results the same.
Yeah.
For sure. And even like, we'll go out sometimes and like, Danny, like Taco Bell doesn't even taste that good anymore. Oh, he's ruined it. Like you ruined Taco Bell for us, and that's okay. It's just been just making those habits, and it does take a really long time to switch eating habits around. And like Jason said, the workouts are great and I love them, but that like I've been doing them so consistently for like 10 years that the workout isn't what's going to help me lose weight. It's gonna help me gain strength, but at the same time, you know, if weight loss is my goal, then I have to change my diet
Yeah.
significantly, and we can't do Taco Bell every Saturday anymore. And
Right. We can't have fast food weekends anymore.
yeah,
Every weekend
unfortunately.
consistently and expect to maintain and lose weight, so.
Yeah, so that just having that accountability and knowing that like at the end of this, I'm gonna have to let them know how I did. I'm gonna have to do a scan, and I'm gonna have to see like either I made progress or I didn't. And if I didn't make progress, then it's that like fess up. What did you do? Like if I don't make much progress, I know why. And it's my own fault. But yeah, the challenges have been really helpful for accountability too, just because like if something's not working, I can come back in and be like, Danny, it's been a struggle. I've given it a week. I'm getting nowhere. What can we change? What can we adjust? And just having someone that like has done the research, like I'm a science teacher. I can teach science, but I'm not going to go teach social studies. Like I am not trained to adjust diets and exercise like this. Like that's what we come here for.
So you hire a professional. I tell people
Yeah.
this all the time, right? Like if my car breaks down, like Jason, you might be able to fix your car. I would be a deer in headlights. Like I would have no idea what to do, right? I'm gonna hire a professional. I'm gonna hire somebody that knows exactly what to do, save me time, save me probably money, right? Like in the long run, because I'm gonna guess and try different things, you know. So, you know, having the fitness, yes, that can help with weight loss, but it's really more. It's gonna help you maintain the weight loss and get stronger and build muscle, which can improve your metabolism. But until you tie it all together and have the right nutrition plan for your goals, the right fitness plan that's gonna match your goals, and the like accountability piece of it to make sure that it becomes part of your habitual routine, like it's very hard to create a new skill and create a new habit without those kind of things, which is a big reason why we've kind of built the program the way that we have, to have those key elements to it. So obviously, you guys have been doing very consistent with your workouts the last 8+ years. But definitely with tying back in that, because we've gone back and forth with the diet at times, right? But like the last 10 months, you guys have been really on it. Like, what would you say is the biggest thing that's working really well for both of you guys, like on an individual level that maybe they can learn from the people listening, and even like together, like what's something that you guys do that, you know, maybe can help other couples or people that have, you know, some type of partner or what have you to, you know, live a healthier and happier life?
You can go right ahead.
Okay.
You jump right on in there.
So as a couple, it's been just really helpful being able to kind of meal plan together. And we're not on necessarily the same diet plan all the time. Like in the last challenge, Jason got an extra 45-minute carb fast, we called it, once a week that I didn't get. I had 0 carbs for that. I had like 1 carb day, and he had the extra 45 minutes, but he was at least kind enough to not eat it in front of me. So he would take his rice, his plain white rice, which is like so exciting. He would take that to work and eat that at work in the 45 minutes, just so that I didn't have to like smell the rice or see it or want it. And so just having that consideration for each other of like, you know, our diet plans are a little bit different, but I'm not going to rub it in your face if mine's better than yours. And just really understanding that like we're in this together. We're going to eat healthy dinners together as much as we can. We do eat dinner most of the time together, unless I've got work or work or something.
Yeah, work to work.
Work or different work or other work. So we do eat dinner together most of the time, and we plan that out usually like at the beginning of the week. We'll sit down on Sundays and just say, all right, what's breakfast this week? What's lunches this week? And then let's plan out some dinners to have, which is a huge part of it because we make bad choices when we don't have a plan. Cause then it's like spur of the moment. I'm tired. I don't care. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's just go get Five Guys or let's just go whatever. And that's when we make bad choices.
Yeah,
So you guys do it in a way, like for one, you do it together, like the planning process,
Mhm,
and you just have something prepared. Doesn't even mean you necessarily cook it then
mhm.
or prepare it ahead of time, but you just have a plan and have the ability or the materials, I guess, of having it there, and that
Mhm.
helps you to, so you don't run into those situations like, oh, we don't have it, so let's
Yep.
go to Five Guys.
And we usually go grocery shopping after that. We'll make our list of like, okay, what do we have? And lately we've just been trying to eat through the freezer because we've got stuff down there that is, I don't know, from the dawn of time or something. So it's like, all right, what's in the freezer this week? What's in the freezer that we can make? Maybe we need to go out and get some vegetables or whatever, but we're trying to eat that down and just having that plan. And Jason's really good about like in the morning before he leaves for work, remembering, oh yeah, I gotta take the steak out of the freezer today, or oh yeah, I gotta take the chicken out for tonight, things like
Right.
that. Like he's
Yeah,
really good
right.
about remembering that stuff when I'm like in the morning in a hurry, like get out the door before 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think it does help doing it together, so I know I've done challenges by myself, and I think you have too.
Mhm.
And it's a lot harder for me to have to prepare my own meal and her to prepare her own meal, like if you don't eat the same things, it just is more difficult, yeah, if I'm eating a little piece of chicken and rice and she's got a pizza sitting over there, it's a little hard to stay on track, even,
Yeah.
it's just too tempting, the temptation's there, so.
Yeah.
Doing it together for the most part, we almost always do now, so.
Our lunches are
Pretty
usually
close.
different though, like you eat
Yeah.
like a buffalo chicken and rice or something like that, and I might have something totally different, like a shrimp fried rice. But so lunches, we'll do our own thing, make a whole bunch of them and freeze them for the week. But usually our dinners are the same, and that has been really helpful and just makes it easier, like you'll cook some days, I'll cook some days, and it just doesn't feel like as much of a burden.
Yeah.
And then we weigh everything. We have our little kitchen
Yeah.
scale that we bought on clearance at Best Buy when I worked there ages ago.
It's
And
like second nature now, we just weigh
Yeah.
everything all the time.
yeah,
And how does that make things like easier? Like, yes, it might be a little bit of work up front, but like, now it probably makes nutrition like a heck of a lot easier.
It kind of is, like, I know there's specific numbers I'm supposed to be hitting, but
Yeah.
in general, like, I don't have to know the exact number every time, I just know that I'm close. Like, I know that Beth needs 4 to 5 ounces of whatever protein, and I need 5 to 6 ounces of whatever protein, and
mhm,
yeah, it's just, it becomes habit, it's just memorized, it's stuck in me, and even if I don't have the scale when we're camping or something, like, I kind of know the sizes just by looking at them, so. It's definitely made life a lot easier. I think this year for sure, since we've been so consistent over such a long period of time, the habits are finally actually getting set in stone where it's not, it doesn't seem like it's difficult, where it doesn't seem like it takes more time.
yeah, and having it even just for sides, like a rice or a pasta or something like that. You start to see that number increase pretty quickly sometimes, and you're like, okay, no, I really don't need that much of it, I really should be having however many grams or ounces, depending on what country you're in, I guess. And I know how much I should be having, and so maybe, okay, maybe I'll go a little over one day or here or there, but for the most part, I don't need a giant pile of pasta, like.
And do you guys feel like full and content and all that with most of your meals doing it that way?
As long as I'm actually eating all my meals, cause I eat, I don't know, what do I eat 5 times a
5,
day,
yeah.
yeah, so as long as I actually eat all my meals, yes, if I skip one, then I definitely can tell,
Yeah.
cause
Yeah.
I'm not overeating that much anymore,
Right.
so.
That's huge, right? Where a lot of people, they feel like they're depriving, but really it's probably our mind is more hungry than we actually need the fuel in there. And like what I love about like what you guys have done the last 10 months is, yes, you put in a little bit of work up front and had to sacrifice to put in that work, but like, think of how hard it's gonna be to go back now after this, right? To the point of like, you know exactly what to eat, how to eat now. You're very self-sufficient with your nutrition. That, yes, you might have ebbs and flows at times, but you have the skills now in a better way to be able to say like, okay, I know I need this much chicken breast, or I need that much pasta or whatever it is. like, how does that impact like your ability to like sustain this long term?
It makes me think about, especially in the mornings, like breakfast, like, all right, what is your protein today? What is your protein for breakfast? Because breakfast for me has been the hardest thing to figure out of how to get a good quality, nutritious breakfast more than just like a carb, because everything breakfast is carb based. You get bread or you get English muffin or bagel or whatever, like it's all carbs. So just making sure that I have that protein, and it's like second nature now, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a sausage, or I'm gonna have a protein Pop-Tart, or I'm gonna have eggs or something like that for breakfast. And I don't really have to think about it that much anymore.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like the carby, like oatmeal doesn't really like pop into my mind as much anymore of like an option for breakfast even. So it just has kind of changed just like the thinking of what am I gonna eat for the day? And I'm gonna have, instead of sitting down after dinner with like a bowl of popcorn or something, I'll have some cottage cheese, which Jason now likes, and that's so exciting for me.
It's a game changer. Yeah.
I used to not like it either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's oddly good now. I don't
all
know
of a
what it
sudden this
is.
last challenge,
Palate
right?
changes.
It's just
It
been like
was
the
the
past like
last
5,
challenge,
6
yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
It could be your palate changing, you know what I mean?
I think it is, yeah, because I know Coke doesn't taste that great anymore, and yeah, Taco Bell doesn't taste that great.
Yeah.
So my palate is definitely changing, and
So sorry.
it's for the better. It's for the
It
better.
is, it is. Because I mean, long term, we'll be able to be skiing into our 50s, 60s, 70s.
Right.
Be those old guys on the slopes,
Yeah.
or hiking, or snowmobiling, or all the other fun stuff that we like to do. It'll be an option forever.
So what, like with that, like, what type of like scale victories have you had over the last 10 months, and then even non-scale victories? What, moving that big boulder, right? What are some things that maybe don't necessarily show up on the scale that you guys have seen over the last 10 months, and even like what, whether it's muscle mass increase or body fat loss or weight or anything there, like what type of results have you guys had with being more consistent with having some accountability, having a nutrition plan, and obviously sticking to your workouts? Like what type of results have you seen the most?
So I guess, so of course on the scale results, so we started in, the red carpet challenge. So I think I've lost around 30 pounds and 16% body fat from then to now, so the last 10
Say
months.
16?
16,
Wow,
yeah, I started at
that's
20, I
crazy.
started at 25%, and I'm
Yeah.
at 9 point
Wow.
something now,
Yeah,
so.
maybe.
It's-
That's awesome.
It was a big transformation for me,
Yeah.
so on scale was the biggest one for me. I mean, off scale, I mean, obviously I can see it in the mirror, my clothes fit nice, which is nice. And even doing the things we like to do, like hiking or snowmobiling or four-wheeling, it's, hiking it's easy, like we go for a mile walk and it's not a big deal, like some people that might be a long distance, but
Yeah.
for us, it's not hard. And
We don't get out of breath doing a long hike or
Right, stairs,
like,
you gotta
yeah, well, going up the stairs. Pump the
That's
brakes there,
where you're
like. Yeah.
But even, like riding snowmobiles and four wheels, you're like in a crouched position, and just not having all that extra weight around me it's just so much more comfortable and fun to do now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's awesome.
Yeah, everything's just more comfortable, like
Yeah.
clothes are more comfortable, and just, I feel more comfortable just in my own skin, like I feel more confident and just happy to be out there. Like we're going to Barbados for Thanksgiving, and like we're really excited for it. I'm excited to go snorkeling, and I'm not really worried about like my lung capacity or like, not being able to breathe, or my legs if we go, going swimming and stuff like that. Like hiking, we don't get tired on a long hike the way that, we might if we weren't healthy, if we were letting ourselves go a little bit more. And I feel like it just opens a lot of doors for us. Like for me, scale victories, I think I'm down like 7% body fat this year, and 16 pounds, I think it is.
Nice.
So I mean, and previously, like I never really used to lose a lot on challenges. Like I was always the one that was like, I'm not gonna win because like I'll feel better about myself, but I won't like lose a whole ton. So this year has been pretty exciting for that. And especially like everyone talks about getting older, and like it's not as easy when you're older, but you can make it happen.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been really dedicated to it and put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to see it pay off.
I feel like the victories for you was the consistency, because we did it for such a long time this
Mhm.
time. Like
Yeah.
usually we'll do the challenges for the 4 to 6 weeks, but then we'll kind of bounce back and forth. So I think it helped that we stayed for 10 months pretty much on a good diet plan.
Yeah.
And it's the consistency across like all of the different life events, like when I have track meets in the evening that go until 8, 9 o'clock, I had so many of them. I mean, they were like 3 to 5 a week. I couldn't just say, okay, today I'm just gonna eat the pizza that they give us, because then the next day and the next day and the next day, like I had to figure out more sustainable plan for like, okay, when I'm at a track meet super late, I need something super quick to eat that's not gonna ruin my day. Like that's not gonna totally throw me off course, because I can't just go off the plan for the entire track season and then the entire like camping season. You know, we have to consider like when we go camping, we still eat healthy, we still take food that's gonna maintain our goals and keep us moving in the right direction. And then back to school time is stressful, and then there's cross country season is stressful, and like there's always a reason to eat poorly, but we're finding it's a lot easier now to think about, okay, but how is this going to affect my goals, and what can I do to keep myself on track?
And that's transformational, like that's what makes it that lifestyle that everybody talks about, right? Like everyone wants this to be their lifestyle. But until we're consistent enough, and a lot of times that comes with accountability first, right? So that we create a new habit, so that we can be in that situation where it becomes part of our lifestyle. And what I love most about what you guys are saying is like, yes, you feel better, yes, you look better, yes, like you feel confident, but like you're going out there and enjoying the festivities of life, if you will, right? And not holding back. Like how many people don't go to Barbados because they're scared to, they don't think they can go snorkeling, or they don't think, they don't feel comfortable in their bathing suit, you know, and that might be an extreme, you know, case, but like people do it all the time with like around here, like with going on a boat or going to the beach or not wanting to go on a certain, you know, spring break or whatever it is, right? Because they're hiding, because they're just either not confident, not comfortable, to your point, Beth, or they just don't feel like they can do it because they're physically unable. And you guys putting in all this work has really allowed you to be able to not only feel better, but also set yourself up that you can just enjoy life more because you're more healthy and fit. So if you were here talking to a friend and they were in your guys' shoes before, they struggle with their consistency of workouts, they're not sure what to do, they do the gym donation, they go to a gym, they show up once a month, they donate this and that. They have every intent to start back up on Monday, right? They're not consistent with their nutrition, and maybe they just have either thought about, or maybe they haven't thought about, like getting a trainer or a coaching program like Raw. Like, what would you tell somebody in that scenario, or you back then with how you guys feel now? Like, what would you tell yourself at that point?
Guess I would tell them kind of what we've talked about today, you know, it makes a big difference to have both the diet and exercise kind of pre-planned for you, unless you're a fitness professional, of course, but
Yeah.
I mean, it really does help to have those skills kind of shown to you so that you can be successful, because there's nothing worse than giving away your money to a gym only to get nowhere out of it. It's a waste of time for you. Spending all those hours in the gym to get no results out of it, so
Right.
I would highly recommend it's worth it.
And like everyone here started wherever they started. You have to start somewhere. And wherever that is, like if you don't start today, what's gonna make you start tomorrow or the next day or the next day? Like you have to start somehow. And
Yep.
it's like scary to take that like first step, but a week later, everyone here is a friend, and the coaches here are just like the weirdest but nicest but most fun people. And that was part of the non-scale victories too, is just like Amelia coming up and being like, girl, you look amazing. And like I hadn't really even noticed it, but when she points it out, like it's thank you. Like I didn't even notice that myself, but I also see myself every day. So it's just such a supportive community, and like, it's 45 minutes for a workout. And that's that, like, you're not here for hours planning things out, like, yeah, you clean up by putting the weights and stuff away, but it's not like. It's not a big process, and even like we've tried like the basement workout stuff, like we've done those things, and. I have personally no motivation to do that, like, here it's, okay, I signed up for the 4:15 class, I need to get there, like, that's my commitment, I committed to being there. So if I don't show up, Julie's gonna be on me, or Amelia's gonna ask where I was, or someone's gonna say, hey, are you okay? What happened? I noticed you weren't there today, and it's not that they're necessarily like hassling, but it's, hey, you're usually here, I know you signed up, everything okay, kind of stuff, so. To me, it's just that like community of people, I actually care, I actually like these people that are here. Nobody here has ever said, oh, what are you doing the challenge for? You don't need to lose weight. Like,
No, same goals.
yes,
Same.
everyone here has
Yeah.
goals, everyone here is here for a reason, and. You know, we're all in this together at least.
Yeah, having not only the structure, like you can just show up, tell me what to do, get it over with, I don't have to research anything. And then just having that structure, the accountability, but also the support, like you mentioned, goes a long way for not only getting your money's worth, if you will, right? Instead of like a Planet Fitness that has 10,000 members and only 100 show up on average, like, but actually getting more out of it. Being able to enjoy life like you guys are and feeling that much better, like that just makes life that much better and that much easier. So I applaud both of you guys. I definitely appreciate both of you guys coming on, sharing your story. I think a lot of people are gonna be pretty motivated by this, and hopefully they can learn some stuff here. These two have to get out to their workout, so I'm gonna ship them off here. So thank you guys for joining us for another Confidently Flawed. As always, we don't do any promotions, anything like that. All that we ask, if you can, give us a rating, give us a review, share this with somebody else that you think would benefit from hearing this kind of the Beth and Jason story here. And until next time on another Confidently Flawed podcast episode. Yay!
Thanks, Danny.
Awesome, crew. Thank